Welcome to the Smart LED FX software training video. Today we're going to do the first setup of your Smart LED sign. So basically, I'm going to walk you through all the steps that you need to do to set up your sign for the first use. This assumes two things. That first, you installed the FX software, which I have running right now, and that's in your DVD with your sign, and also that you connected the Smart LED Wi-Fi unit to your sign, and also that you connected to the Wi-Fi using the included instructions that we sent you in the box. So once it's connected, then let me set up everything. Okay, so now we've already connected to the Smart LED Wi-Fi and put in the password, and we've already obviously installed the Smart LED FX software. So now you need to know exactly what's the size of your LED sign. So you should check in your paperwork what's the sign's resolution, because the first step to do that we need to do is set it up. So let's go ahead and go into options and software setup, and you can see here the sign that we're working with right now is 176 by 176. Possibly yours may be, I don't know, it could be 80 by 176. So go ahead and set it up to your size, and then once you set it up, you click OK, and then you see the preview box right here. If you don't have the paperwork, there's also another way you can get the size of your sign. That's simply by going to Control and right here, Get LED Sign Status. You'll see on the Info Center a window that shows you the size, the width 176, and the height 176. Also, you can use the Get LED Sign Status to make sure that your setup is working well. That means that you're properly connected to your LED sign, because if for any reason you weren't properly connected to your LED sign, then you wouldn't be receiving this message. In fact, I'm going to show you real quick what the message you would be receiving looks like if you're not properly connected to the Wi-Fi, or if there's an issue with your connection uh, on the TCP/IP network. Then you will see a connection message that shows up something like this. You go to Control, Get LED Sign Status, and it'll take a few seconds, but you'll get a negative answer back. Oh, there it is. You'll get the tip message basically telling you that the sign is either powered off or the IP is not set up properly. You also have to check that your IP, that the communication is set to network, and that the IP is set up here. But basically, you do want to know that if you do get this message on the message center here on the bottom right of your screen, that means that either the sign is not connected, or the Wi-Fi is not connected, or there's some other connection issue that you have to refer to the first setup log of your Wi-Fi for your computer and sign. Uh, Other than that, once you get LED sign status and it's working well, you'll get an information of your status and the size of the sign and the IP address, and this way you know that everything is working properly. So let's go ahead and go over the main options that you have here on the FX software. First, you have File, which is you have a new, you can open a save file, save as, and of course exit to exit the program. You have Control, where you can turn on and turn off the sign. Uh, you can adjust time, which in fact, let's do that right now, because you may be in a mountain time and you want to have the sign adjust the clock to your computer clock. In case you're in the East Coast, then everything is connected to your computer clock for scheduling. So that's already done. We've adjusted the time. And now you can also adjust the brightness. Now when you receive, you'll get this message. You can just say yes, you want to continue. But when you receive your Smart LED sign, we usually have it set at half brightness. And we recommend you run it at 5 or 6, but you could go up to 8. So now we're gonna assume that the sign is already installed and connected to the proper amperage. So we're gonna adjust the brightness to 8. And then you get the adjust brightness succeeded message. Then you can exit. And under the control, you also have the schedule table set up. In here, you can prepare. You can activate and start adding. You know, you can turn off on the sign at a certain time, turn off the sign at a certain time, adjust the brightness at nighttime if you want it to be less bright. And we'll go over these settings a little bit later on. For right now, we're going to cancel of that. But this is to adjust. This schedule table is not for the messages. It's to adjust the time on and the time off for your sign, and when to change the brightness of your sign, and some other more advanced functions will go into this schedule. And of course, you have the Get LED sign status and the Remote Anycast program, which you won't be using. So here, options, language, software setup, user setup. Mostly you're going to be using the software setup to set up your size, and also if you want to change the default parameters of what's your default border color, your default font size, you can change it to whatever you want, your default font color, and how many how many seconds you want between each message. But uh, right now, let's talk about the initial program structure of your first message. So now that you've set the correct size, and now that you've clicked control and you've gotten the LED sign status, and you can know that everything's working properly between your computer and the smart LED sign, now we're going to start setting up the program. So the first thing you do for the program structure is you're going to add universal display, and that becomes your display. Then you're going to click and you're going to add a step. Everything you do in your smart LED sign is step based, and you can see the schedule here if you want to change the schedule for each step. But everything requires a step, so whatever you're going to do, a text window, a video window, show a bunch of pictures, you're going to require to make steps for that. So we'll do step 1. We'll click on step 1, and then we'll click this new window, this post-it note with 3 colors. And here you have file window, text window, temperature window, or date and time window. Let's start with just an easy text window, and let's go ahead and you can move this around, and let's stretch it out. And now to add text in there, you're gonna press this yellow post-it note, and we're gonna put some text in there like welcome to smart LED displays. So you see how it's all together and not looking very good. So we're going to highlight that, and we're going to click line space, and we're going to add some spacing between the lines. You can see they start spreading. Here is your fonts. You can use any font and any language, even uh, foreign languages such as Hebrew, Farsi, any any language. You can, as long as you have the font installed in your computer. And of course, we're gonna make the size bigger. And here we have bold and justification for center. And this is if you want to push it to the top, push it to the bottom, or in the middle. Here you can change your background color. And if you don't like the colors that are available, you can also click on this one to make your own custom color, and be able to add it to your custom color. This is obviously, for people who want to have a specific color just on their message. So, and that's basically it for the text window. Now, if you wanted to add a video window, then you're gonna make another step. First, you're gonna add another step because it's a different type of file, and then you're gonna do a file window, and once again, you're gonna add your video file or picture file. Let's do a picture real quick. That way you can see how it works. And basically, what I want to show you in this message is this is the structure. You're gonna have different steps and different sections. And when you want to send everything to the sign, then you simply click here, send to LED sign. And of course, it asks you to save the project first. So we'll save it as Smart LED Training Video Test. And you click save, and there you go. Now, as soon as you save it, and that's your program, then you can click send to LED sign, and you'll see, the progress bar. And as soon as you hear that sound, the ding sound, that means everything is on your sign and it's running. If you want to preview things, you can just click here to preview, and it'll close out this area and just show you a preview of what's on your sign. Um, and of course, if you want the preview to loop, then you're gonna have to just click here. This is if you just want to preview one program, and this is if you want to preview the full program looping. And there you have it. If you get any error messages, now you know that it's something to do with the connection or the power. And that concludes the part one of the Smart LED FX software training video regarding the initial software setup.